No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not solely those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin Raw podcast, episode 203. I am your host, the Warden, Mad Ritter, and I am back, as always, with my co-host, the Pornhub Poppy, Daddy Delgado himself. Vince, what's going on?
Daddy's home. What is up, man?
Not a lot. We're going to have a guest here in a little while. He told us to go ahead and get started. He'll join us in progress. But I guess I'll wait till he gets here to plug his shit.
That sounds fair.
It wouldn't feel right to plug Black Lives Matter and those Black Lives Matter t-shirts when the guy who created them is going to be on the show before he gets here. So
fair enough.
No, everything's going good, man. We just recorded another episode of Return to Wrestling. Apparently, we're finally going to get this Dragon Ball podcast recorded Sunday. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I got a Friday the 13th episode coming up with Reek. I got to record, and Katie. So I'm busy man. Busy man.
Yeah, I think it was it was the fact that I feel like me and Reek, like once I think I was the one stalling. I feel like once I put my mind into it, like, yeah, let's get this done, it was getting done because I was the one that kept backing out. I was the one that wasn't.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me or Reek, because me and Reek have had the same schedule. I've said 11 o'clock any night that we're not recording the show, CST. And Reek said, I'm off Sundays and Mondays. So we had 2 days and a time. It was you and Justin that needed to be available because either you weren't available or Justin couldn't be up that late because he had to work the next morning.
Right.
So
the cards all aligned, my schedule freed up. And then obviously it helped the fact that me and Reek met up to like go record episode 6 of the Straight Talk podcast, talk to NBA finals and whatnot. And after post meeting, we talked about the Dragon Ball podcast and tried to pin down the dates, which should get done relatively soon.
Hopefully. All right, let's do a little bit of news and rumors while waiting for TC to join in.
Sounds
First
good.
and foremost, biggest news of the week: Jimmy Uso got another DUI.
That sucks, man.
A lot of debate about should he have been on TV this week, which we'll talk about. Should he have not been on TV? Does he need to get help? Doesn't he need to get help? I mean, DUIs are like I take DUI seriously. It is a danger to the public. He could have hit someone, killed someone, got into a crash, killed himself or someone else. I do not condone drinking and driving under the influence. No. You're not only putting your life at risk, but you're putting other people's lives at risk. And it's a selfish and pointless act. Like, we've got Uber. There's no reason to get behind the wheel of a car and drive.
Yeah, no, it's kind of concerning. I saw a lot of people making jokes or whatever about the situation, making memes, poking fun, making light of the situation. It's like, if it's a serious issue, like we need him to get some help. We need him to get some. He just came back from a grueling injury. He was out forever. He's finally in the heat of things with this Roman storyline. Things are looking good for Jimmy and the Usos, and it sucks. It's terrible timing. Like, one of my favorite wrestlers is Eddie Guerrero. He's had drinking problems. Obviously he almost lost his life in a car accident. I would hate to see that happen to Jimmy Uso. I don't want to see that happen to anyone whatsoever.
And he definitely does need help, because this is an ongoing thing. Like, this isn't the first time he's got a DUI. Like, this is the second or third time in his WWE career that he's gotten a DUI. Like, there are multiple offenses here. So This isn't like he just got drunk and got behind the wheel of a car one time. Like, he's doing this, and this is just the third time he got caught.
Yeah.
So something needs to be done. It's kind of like, people equate it to like the story they told with Jeff Hardy, where Jeff Hardy had a drinking problem and like he got clean. They've got an issue, if they've got a problem, an addiction, whatever, it's WWE's responsibility to find them and help them, like make them go seek help. And the only way you're going to get this guy to go do that is to take him off TV and be like, until you come back and you show us you're clean, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Ended, blah, 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 blah. Go to AA, go get clean, show us. It's just where I'm at. Because like I said, there could have been a family, that he could have hit at a red light that he blew because he was drunk, killed a child, killed parents, someone's sister, someone's mother, someone's brother, uncle, aunt, father, whatever. Could have killed himself. Could have killed anyone that was in the car with him. Like, there's a high probability that could happen, and it's a dangerous thing to do. Also, Bayley was announced to be injured and out for the next 9 months, as per WWE.com. Do you think it's a work, or do you think she's actually hurt?
No, I think she's legit hurt. I don't think they would risk losing this big of a match. Why book this last woman standing match?
Yeah, I think so.
They wouldn't book this high stakes, high caliber of a match with Bayley.
I quit. I think it was an I quit.
I think it was an I quit.
Yeah, it's an I quit. It's an I quit.
Regardless, it was a high stakes match. They were making a big deal of this being the first I quit women's match in like years, since like the early 2000s back on Raw. Maybe I want to say Molly Holly was involved in it. Maybe Ivory. That sounds about right. And they were making a big deal of it. They wouldn't put one of their they're trying to like build up this pay-per-view. They're trying to have big matches. I don't think they would have done that. And if you saw Bianca's promo when she came out on SmackDown, she had this kind of like moment of sincerity where she's like, I respect you. And like, I don't like you, but I respect your work ethic, or whatever it is that she said. And just like, when you get back, I look forward to finishing this.
She also said she didn't know if it was a real injury or not. So
yeah, I felt that
we're going to talk about that.
That was the work part, I felt like. But there was a genuine part where I thought it was for real. I think it's legit. I don't think they would have like announced this like literally like the week before some Money in the Bank and just like called off the match. I don't think they would have done that.
All Out sold out in 45 minutes. And I'm actually upset about this. I don't know why I didn't expect it to sell out that quick. I thought I was going to have time because I wanted to, especially after what we're going to talk about this week, I wanted to fucking go. Like,
you'll be able to get tickets. You'll be able to get tickets last minute.
I'm not trying to get fucking scalp tickets, or I'm not trying to buy tickets at twice the price. Like, I wanted to go to the box office or Ticketmaster, whatever, pick out my tickets, buy them. I woke up and they were already sold out. Like, by the time I had woken up, it was done. And I was like, well, fuck. Because I did want to go. Like, I was thinking, like, this would be really cool, especially because I was hoping that that's where Hangman and Kenny would happen, because it's like kind of their WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, let's do that.
Well, I was able to get tickets for All In, and luck, that was just pure fucking luck, and I was able to get in. I had no issues. For All Out, the first one, I actually didn't get tickets. And then eventually we just kept looking. We kept looking and kept looking. I think I got tickets like literally a month before from the venue itself, like right at the ramp. And if you go back and watch All Out, you can see my dumbass in the crowd, like on the ramp over there. Like,
it's not on the network. I can't do that.
It's on Peacock.
It's not on Peacock. All Out is not on Peacock.
It's on some illegal streaming site. I don't condone you check it out, but I'm pretty sure you can find it somewhere.
This one really pissed off Reek. Paul Heyman has been replaced by Pat McAfee on Talking Smack.
That's I don't know how I feel about that move.
I don't like it. Like, Kayla and Paul had great chemistry together. I get it. Pat McAfee is Pat McAfee, and he's been fantastic, and he is now kind of the voice of SmackDown, or they're trying to do that, but like, why don't fix it if it's not broken. Oh,
Why
look who's here.
Oh, is it Pat McAfee? Is he gonna be the new co-host of Smackin the Raw? Am I being replaced just like Paul Heyman?
That is a pretty picture. That is a pretty man right there.
Yeah, the picture's better than the actual image we're about to see, though.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Look at that, man.
Speaking of which,
I look the same.
Allow me to introduce from Young Kings Wrestling, our boy TC Fontaine. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
While you're here, I saved it for you being here. I see you got that beautiful tank top on.
Oh, yes.
That tank top that says Black Lives Matter, which is for sale at whatamaneuver.com.
Whatamaneuver.net.
Oh, sorry, whatamaneuver.net. And if you can't find it, you can go to my pin tweet at Matt Ritter, and it'll get you there. And that money that is received for the purchase of tank tops and hoodies and t-shirts, and God, hopefully the NWO Wolfpack style that we're all waiting to come out.
NWO week.
Waiting for that Wolfpack shirt. When you buy those, that money goes into a fund, and when someone's family is affected by police brutality or injustice, you find someone who actually needs the money. You take that money out of that fund and you give it to that family, whether it be a GoFundMe or whatever means through which to help these families who are suffering. And unlike the actual cause that doesn't do that and makes twerking videos and shit, we respect the shit out of you for that, and that's why we plug it every week. So
yeah, unfortunately, Minneapolis, can't pronounce the word, Minneapolis police, they did it again this week. Ironically, the uncle of the girl who filmed George Floyd's murder was like, it was like a hit and run by the police because they were chasing somebody else, and he ended up dying. So,
Jesus.
yeah.
So that's the latest one that I've come across.
You feel like when there are riots in your city repeatedly for these actions, if anything, you would be extremely careful with what the fuck you were doing.
Yeah.
And not just continue to say, oh, well, fuck it. Especially now that Trump's not president anymore and he's not just going to empower people to go do dumb shit in that city. Like,
I think he's done enough to empower dumb shit.
We really...
It shows a level of incompetence when, like, as many times as this has happened for that particular department, you would think they would, somebody would step in and do something. Like, how many times does it have to happen before it's considered a pattern that needs to be corrected? But accountability does not exist in this form of occupation, apparently. So it is what it is.
It is what
all we can do is just, keep doing what we're doing, our own forms of activism, because it's clear that the people who are placed upon the pedestal aren't going to do their part. So it's just up to us to do what we do in our, our communities, more close knit, and then hope that kind of trickles out to everywhere else. So it starts from the center. So you gotta start in the center, the little places. Go to your local community, wherever, however you can help, whatever it is you're gonna do your part. And then, hopefully the best we can do is just hope that it just catches on, outward. But it is what it is.
If you have a voice, use your voice. That's what we try and do here on our podcast.
No matter how big your voice is.
Exactly. Or where it's heard. Because you never know who might be on Pornhub and stumble across our video and hear a message and be like, oh shit, and go send some money, sign a petition, get involved. If you can reach one person, that's one more person that's out here helping.
You know how random it is to go viral on say Twitter or somewhere. It's so random. You can have like 40 followers and your tweet will blow up because it just got into the right hand. So like, no matter how big or small your voice is, whatever you can do to help, you do it. And that's what I struggled with before. I don't know. I just ended up making a design that I felt people would like. And I got a few orders today from some people who I don't know. So I was trying to find out because I seen like the the one tweet that's in your pin tweet, I think it was, had got retweeted earlier. So it reached like maybe like 10 more people. So I'm trying to figure out which of those 10 people purchased it, but so I can tell them thank you.
And I appreciate, or I'm happy to, leave that pin tweet up, because if people are seeing it, they're following me, they're getting the message, they're retweeting it and getting the word out. That's why it's there. And that's why it's important.
And you like networking better than I do. So like you network a lot. So it's going to get a bigger reach messing with you. Cause I'm not, I don't like networking a lot. Like, I mean, you guys are cool. Cause like, I'm used to y'all, but like any new people, I'm very like, I got to see what they about first.
Yeah. Well, I do too. Like I said, I don't really fuck with anyone that hasn't shown me that they fuck with me. So once you let me know, hey, like, oh, I like your show, I listen to it, blah, 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 then I'll go check your show out and see what you're about. And
I give people, and this is just, my bad, but I give people less of a reason to like us on social media. So it's even less of an opportunity for me to kind of, with other people.
Yeah, you're lucky we got cool before you started having your Bulls takes, because I feel like if I kept seeing those Bulls takes,
wait, is that what all this is about? Is his Bulls?
Vince, to be fair, my first ever NBA game was a Bulls game.
That's good.
So here's the thing. I went, because we got that group chat for our Dragon Ball podcast that we're working on. Mm-hmm. That's me, Vince, Justin, and Reek. And I went in there to let Vince know, because he was making logos for our Return to Wrestling for us, hooking us up, made some dope ass logos.
Coming soon.
That you were going to be on the show. And he goes, why? And I'm like, what do you mean why? What's wrong with TC? And he's like, I'm carrying over.
You're the one that got banned from our show. So
he's like, I'm carrying over that.
You got banned from our show.
Yeah.
How when did I get banned?
You called Sheamus me.
Yeah. And you got banned for like a month. You don't remember that?
You got banned until he won at WrestleMania, basically.
Oh, okay. I thought this was recent. I'm like, when?
I don't know.
It was recent, but
I don't know why I can't find myself a co-host that just doesn't want to beef with TC. I don't understand it.
Well, okay.
Maybe it's me. This common denominator is me.
No. Okay. So I was just bullshitting around. I was bored at work, so I'm like, I'm just stir the pot a little bit and just gonna make it seem like there's some beef here. I'm just trying to fuck with TC. And I'm like, I'm just fucking trolling. I'm just trying to keep Travis's gimmick alive.
He did. Yeah. I said we killed that gimmick on 200. We're 3 episodes past that. Move on.
No, Travis,
you were there
late, but I was there.
Yeah.
Okay. How's about this?
I was later than you, so
I have a peace offering for TC, just for TC. Just so he knows that there's no hard feelings, man. Just, he's here in spirit.
Very
good.
Nice.
Sovereign soundboard. I love it.
Sovereign's here.
Shout out to the Sovereign soundboard. We're on our last bit of news and rumors. SmackDown will be coming live from Rolling Loud. As a 34-year-old white guy, I have no idea what the fuck Rolling Loud is, but it sounds cool.
It's like a hip hop Coachella, basically. It's just straight up just a hip hop festival.
I got that reaction from all the white people I saw who either were not happy about it or didn't know what the fuck it was, and everyone else that I follow that was like, "Oh, this is fucking dope." So I figured it was something like that. I had just never heard of it.
It's probably the biggest thing WWE has done in a very long time.
Okay,
that's kind of cool. That's pretty.
Is it kind of what was that? Weren't they at some festival or some shit doing NXT shows or like?
Yeah. Festival doing like NXT house shows. I think it might have been on TV. I'm not sure.
I think some of it was because they had like the Cruiserweight Classic and shit or something from there. They had a tournament from there.
Yeah.
That festival is not as big. Like probably the biggest thing, the 2 biggest festivals that WWE could do outside of Rolling Loud are Coachella and EDC.
Okay.
So like this is one of probably the 3 biggest music festivals. Like it's so many huge artists. Like I don't know who's on this card, so I don't really care. But people like J. Cole, Kendrick, like big names are on these festival cards. So this is huge for WWE. So it just all depends on what matches they had.
Depends on what matches they have and what artists who are there want to get involved, because I mean we've saw what Bad Bunny did this year for WWE. So any other wrestling fans who might be there, Cardi B possibly coming to SummerSlam.
Westside Gun.
So we got a lot going on there. So that should be really cool.
Wale,
yeah.
Wale, yeah.
TC, you're the guest. Where do you want to start? Raw, SmackDown, AEW, NXT.
Let's talk about NXT. Let's talk about the Great American Bash.
So
Nice.
we have.
I gotta talk about the best NXT segment I've ever seen in my life.
We got the Great American Bash. We kick it off. MSK defends their titles successfully against Ciampa and Thatcher. We got Regal and Joe announced during a face-to-face that Cross versus Gargano will have Joe as a special guest referee. Cameron Knight or LA Knight defeats.
Am I tripping? Or was Gargano and Cross supposed to happen this week?
No, you're tripping. That was not supposed to happen this week.
I could have swore they announced it for this week. Like, we did predictions for it and everything.
You're off, man.
It is.
LA Knight defeats Cameron Grimes, and now Cameron Grimes is going to have to wear a French maid outfit and clean his house. They announced the breakout tournament. Competitors, including Joe Gacy, which, as someone who grew up in the Midwest, the name John Wayne Gacy is very prominent out here, and I'm a little concerned about what this man's character is going to be. If they put him in clown makeup, I might have to veto NXT going forward. Io and Zoe defeat Giant Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, new tag team champions, after the return of Tegan Knox, which we will find out is extremely short-lived.
It's very irrelevant.
Wait. They beat who?
Giant Gonzalez and Dakota. Oh, they beat the. Oh, I wrote that down wrong. Oh, yeah, they beat the Way.
Yeah.
Why did I write down?
They've been hot-shotting these titles since they introduced them. So
I think because they had like a segment right before the match.
That might have been what it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tegan chases Candace off post-match, so at least I got that part right.
Yeah.
Tony says she wants a title match. She felt disrespected by Saray and says she's not giving Saray her match. Also,
segment's also irrelevant now.
Maybe very short-lived.
Both segments seem irrelevant now.
We get a clip of the best thing to happen on NXT, and that is Dexter Lumis coming down to pick up Indy Hartwell and rekindle Index and carry her away, which made me so happy. Post-title match. We got the Hit Row Cypher.
Best segment of all time in NXT history. I don't care.
Our main event.
Go
Adam
argue
Cole
with Wade Barrett.
Defeats Kyle O'Reilly. So obviously you want to swallow the Hit Row Cypher. Why don't you tell us why you enjoyed that so much? What was that for you? Well, obviously that, but like, what of it? Like, I thought B-Fab was fantastic. I think she was better.
Somebody was trying to tell me she was trash, but like, no, I mean,
get the fuck out of here.
Compared to Top Dollar and Swerve, she was probably last, but everybody went hard.
I don't know, Top Dollar, and see, it wasn't his flow that bothered me. It was him hyping up Swerve while Swerve was trying to go that was bothering me. Like, I just needed him to back down a little bit and shut the fuck up. Just
Top Dollar got to stop watching those URL battles so much.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was clear like Charlie Clips energy that I got the whole time from him. Mm-hmm. So he got to calm down.
Other than that, very little to complain about that segment. I thought it was just so very good, and it just felt like a great celebration for Swerve being North American.
Different. Like, it's a very unique championship celebration. Nobody's done anything like that before. Like, I was just watching Unforgiven 2005, and Ric Flair beat Carlito for the Intercontinental title, and then chose 4 of the most average to ugliest looking women I've ever seen out the crowd, and he had an orgy with them in his limo. Like, that was a unique championship celebration, and this is unique as well.
We've seen a live sex celebration. We've seen a limo orgy. We have never seen
a Big Mac celebration.
We've seen a Big Mac celebration. We have never seen a hip hop cypher celebration. And here's the thing. If hip hop's not your thing, that's cool, but you don't need to shit on it, say it's garbage, say it's trash. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. There are people that really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I thought, as you did, it was really fucking
WWE cool. is a hip hop company now. Like,
yeah.
I like it.
They've kind of just leaned into it. Like, no more of that shitty rock from the mid 2000s. Like, I'm glad that shit's done with. Like,
I mean, I like that shitty rock too, though.
NXT still feels like it still leans into like its rock theme because of Triple H. But I love that this happened in NXT. I feel
fact
like
that-
We get Bad Bunny or possibly maybe getting Cardi B.
Yeah, I'm with
fact-
it, man.
The fact
Wale,
that
yeah.
Drowning Pool
They've
has
been-
done a new song for NXT has surprised the shit out of me so far.
Yeah. Hey, they've been with Flo Rida for like a hot minute. Like he seemed like he was always like doing,
Flo
like,
Rida and Pitbull stayed with the WrestleMania song.
yeah, they stay with the WrestleMania SummerSlam, man.
Welcome to
Snoop Dogg
my
until
house.
he jumped to AEW.
Oh, Snoop's still around. Snoop still get them royalties whenever Sasha show up.
That's true. That's true.
What else do we like from the show? What else are we swallowing? Obviously, for me.
Can I talk about Snoop real quick?
Oh, yeah, go
Before
ahead.
we jump into that. Okay, I was listening to the best of Snoop Dogg CD. Like I was just like, I want to listen to some Snoop, so I'll just play like Snoop's best songs, and I put it on shuffle. And the song he did for Stone Cold on that one CD is on the best of Snoop Dogg, and
Really?
it shocked me. And I forgot how good that shit was. So like, go listen to it.
If I have, I can't remember.
It was that one CD. It had like Run DMC doing DX's song. Ice-T did Godfather's music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on that CD. It was.
I gotta go find it then. I gotta go find it.
It might be on YouTube. I
Isn't that what you were playing before we started recording the show, Matt?
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, that song was on that CD.
Yeah, I got some stuff from that, but I don't think I have the Snoop track from that.
Okay, I gotta go find that shit.
I know I have the Undertaker's track from that.
That whole CD is the dopest CD ever.
And
Kane's theme in that CD is dope. Yes. Mm.
anyway, yeah, no, that's
Tapping into that later. That wasn't it.
I believe that was Aggression was the name of that album.
WWF Aggression. Yeah, I'll check that shit out for sure. I want to swallow probably what I felt like was the best match of the show, the first match of the show, which was MSK versus Thatcher and Ciampa. I thought they told a great story. I thought the match from start to finish was great, fantastic. And MSK won, which I'm totally okay with. Like, Thatcher and Ciampa don't need that win. Y'all can hate on MSK. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not going to say you guys aren't wrong about them not doing much since being champions. I'm not arguing the fact. I'm just saying they're my guys. I'm going to ride with them. Whether the public rides with them or not, I still fucks with MSK. I want them to be champions. So
yeah, I'm fine with this. Like, I didn't think they were going to win because, like we said on our show last week, the momentum is just gone. So, but
I will agree with that.
I will say this. Hopefully this win, they can pick that momentum back up. So I will give it a chance going forward. But if they don't pick that momentum back up, they got to drop those belts.
I was saying on the show that what they need is they need to recapture a little bit of that Rascal spark, and they need to be heels because the Rascals really felt better
that
as
spark.
heels. Yeah, that was unintended. But they really do feel like they need to be heels in NXT.
Yeah.
They definitely feel like they're going to be heels. To me, they kind of give me, not to that same level. I'm not saying I'm not trying to compare them to the New Day.
That's what they need for their momentum.
But when New Day debuted, when they were being force fed as baby faces, and then they turned heel,
not to compare them to New Day, but
I'm not trying to compare them to New Day. I'm not saying they're going to be New Day, but I'm just saying
I get the comparison.
That's the same trajectory for their career.
Debuted.
Yeah, you definitely said debuted.
Shut up.
I told you I was going to tell you when you did it. We had this discussion. And you're like, tell me when I do it. I told you. I know
this is still all right. So I don't remember when. I think it was like the Christmas party or some New Year's party, whatever.
Yeah.
That we all did, and like Justin from Get Your Podcast, like, called it a quesadilla, and I was just fucking dying.
He does that shit on purpose, though. Yeah. He does that on purpose.
I did not stop laughing for like 5 minutes, bro.
Justin is like pseudo Chris Jericho, where his gimmick is just fucking up everyone's name and words.
So he did it on purpose. That shit has me dying, bro.
He calls Io Shirai Io Shirai.
Yeah, every week.
Every fucking week on purpose.
I'm obviously swallowing Index reuniting, Dexter carrying off Indy. I love that.
I'm swallowing the new tag champs.
New tag champs from
We got 2 champions in Las Vegas in NXT.
From Las Vegas, Zoe Stark, and of course, Io
Karrion
Shirai.
Kross.
Along with that, we got the return, like I said, short-lived return, but return of Tegan Knox. We finally found out it was not Scarlett's vibrator that charger was symbolizing. It was Tegan Knox.
I was
I've been
really
saying it
hoping it
was
was
Tegan Knox.
like Kona Reeves or somebody that's coming back trolling.
Bro.
And then you know when they do some shit like that,
Yeah,
when it's like one
yeah.
of those like, damn, really? Like those
Yo,
deflating moments, and then like they could have another return come out.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember when they were hyping up the debut of Dan Matha or whatever? Dan Matha, like this bald, like white guy. And he was supposed to be this strong, intimidating dude. He came out for
Didn't
his
he debut at
match.
Saudi Arabia?
No, he debuted on a random episode of NXT and just got destroyed by Samoa Joe and was never heard from again. And they literally hyped this man up for like 4 weeks. Dan Matha, look that shit up.
Okay.
I remember when they were hyping up this big Hollywood return, and it was The Miz, and everybody was hot except me. I'm a Miz mode.
Oh, man.
Last but not least for me, LA Knight defeating Cameron Grimes, because not only do I think the right guy won, but I think this was the best showing in ring for LA Knight. As a heel, doing heel work, winning the match with, you know, the move on the outside on the title belt and all that. Like, this LA Knight is now showing us that not only is he entertaining and was perfect for this $1 million gimmick, but he can also
think of the
perform in
skits.
the ring.
The
Yeah.
skits we're gonna get out of this is worth it. Like I thought Cameron Grimes should have won the first match, but I was going for LA Knight in this one just for the potential of the skits. And I'm gonna be glued to my television. Like usually I'm just like on my phone and shit. I'm gonna be glued to my television on Tuesday until I see a skit.
Mm-hmm. As soon as you see like the limo pull up or the pool in the house, you know what's happening. You know what we're getting, and you are going to be locked in. And Cameron Grimes is going to make him fucking hilarious and great. So, shout out to them. You guys swallowing anything else from NXT main event?
The main event is what
it was what it was. It was what it was. I wasn't expecting anything.
It wasn't going to be nothing worse than what it was, so it's fine.
Samoa Joe
I wasn't
special guest
expecting
referee.
anything. Next week,
I want to swallow.
That's going to be great.
Johnny Gargano, just like everyone else before him, just making Karrion Kross look terrible on the mic. Just making Karrion Kross look terrible on the mic. I swear, like that. Get that man off the mic.
I'm Karrion Kross's biggest defender. I will make sure that nobody tarnishes his name in this industry right now.
Bro, the line
I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the hate.
No, man, like I'm sorry, like I don't hate Karrion Kross, but he's just not it as champion, man. He's just not it. It's just not it.
No, he is, as long as he doesn't talk. That man, Scarlett should be doing his promos, and he should just be standing there looking angry and intimidated.
His matches don't even hit like that, man. I swear, like
his matches don't hit like that because he doesn't wrestle the NXT style that you want to see. He doesn't have that high intensity, fast, like he's slowing shit down. He's going to be great on the main roster. On the main roster, because of the WWE main roster style, which is basically what he works, he'll be fantastic.
He got better opponents on
Bobby
Raw.
Bobby Roode was a fantastic NXT champion, and he wrestled that slow style too.
Yes and no.
This was a different era though. Like when Bobby Roode was champion, that style that's in NXT right now, it didn't really take off till like 2018, which was he was well on SmackDown at that time. So
I feel like you put Bobby.
It was
Roode,
different then.
That
you had
Bobby
Drew
Roode
there. You
this
had.
Time, I feel like he still resonates more than Karrion Kross.
Let me ask you, who Bobby Roode was wrestling?
He
lost to Drew McIntyre to get sent off.
Not the high intensity.
He was a big guy.
I believe
he beat Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, who he wrestled with in TNA, who he had chemistry. With. He could put matches on with.
He got the title off of Nakamura. He wrestled Hideo Itami in Chicago. He wrestled. What the fuck else did he wrestle? He wrestled Aleister Black. I feel like, if I'm not
probably
mistaken. That sounds about right.
He would have lost to Black because Black was basically undefeated for quite a while there.
No, he didn't wrestle Aleister Black. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
But that's what I'm saying. The guys he
2017.
was wrestling, like he had wrestled before, he had chemistry with, or he could adapt to their style, but he wasn't slowing them
Josh.
down.
No. There was no one. I don't think he wrestled anyone that he had chemistry with. He didn't wrestle with Dale
Samoa
or
Joe.
He didn't wrestle Joe.
Hey, this is my gimmick.
Joe was already on the main roster.
We do my research.
TC's going to do his research. Are you spitting anything from NXT?
Was Aaliyah in the show?
No, she was not. I mean, we basically swallowed everything. The only thing we didn't really actually swallow
Was the main event?
no, the breakout tournament and the main event. Other than that, we covered everything. So
Yeah, everything else was just more or less there. Everything else was swallow worthy. Nothing really to spit at. Except
Alright.
whatever the fuck Colorado was wearing to like show up to the arena. That shit was terrible.
Yeah, this cool Kyle shit, I'm not feeling it, man.
No.
Cut it.
it's trash. TC, well, you're looking that up. AEW, SmackDown, or Raw?
Raw.
Monday Night Raw. We kick it off with Miz TV with the Money in the Bank competitors. AJ and Omos come out pissed that AJ got screwed over. They take out Riddle. The good guys end up clearing the ring, except for Miz, who can't be cleared out of the ring because he is in a wheelchair. Love AJ and Omos for going after Matt Riddle. Appreciate the shit out of that. Ricochet loses to Morrison via countout. Jinder's feelings are hurt because Drew leaves him on red, so he wants a match with him tonight. Vince is I don't know what Vince is doing. Shayna thinks Reggie is a little bitch. We get the Raw. 4 Money in the Bank competitors on the women's side argue about who's going to win.
I got it.
Oh, you want to wait for Vince to come back?
Oh, okay. Let's wait for Vince to come back.
So we get the 8-woman tag
Where
team
Vince
match. Shayna and Nia get the win, but Eva Marie announces herself as the winner. Lashley's back, says he's going to wreck the New Day. Ali defeats Mansoor. Drew says his sword is made from the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster. Oh, I'm spitting the shit out of Drew's promos.
Tired of that shit, man. Leave us alone. We don't care.
Drew versus Jinder ends in DQ. And then Drew gets jumped by Jinder and
His
Fred.
ass cooked.
He got cooked. Mason T-Bar lose to Lucha House Party. Damian Priest doesn't know when to quit and give up on Matt Riddle. If he'd listened to me, he would have done it a long time ago. AJ loses
It's
to
coming.
Riddle in a singles match. Charlotte on crutches says Rhea can't beat her. Rhea on crutches is mocking Charlotte, calls Charlotte's bluff. They kick the crutches out from each other, and then we get a cripple fight.
That was fun.
He's got the list of people that Bobby Roode has wrestled in NXT. Ready for this?
Okay.
Yes.
TV only. Ty Dillinger. Takeover is TV. Ty Dillinger, Takeover Toronto.
No chemistry. No history.
Yeah, there's no history.
That doesn't mean they don't have chemistry. It just means they don't have history. And Ty
No history. You
wrestle-
said that he wrestled people that he had history with before getting to NXT. Get your facts right, man.
But we're talking about like style. We were talking about styles as well.
We talked about
So,
a lot of different things. That was one aspect. But if you want to focus on that, you can focus on that.
But yeah, let me continue though. Ty Dillinger, Andrade, Roderick Strong, Oni Lorcan, Shinsuke. He beat Shinsuke at Takeover San Antonio. Face No Way Jose.
Interesting.
Cassius Ono, Chris Hero, Hideo Itami, another match versus Roderick Strong, and then he lost to Drew McIntyre.
So no Samoa Joe.
So no smaller style guys. Like it's not really a comparable situation with him and Cross when we factor in styles.
What about Drew? He seems to be.
He faced Drew.
No. I'm talking about like Drew compared to Cross. Like
Drew versus Cross it would be a really great.
No, he's saying, can we compare
clash.
Drew's run to Cross's run? Did Drew
Yes,
wrestle
thank you, man.
guys that were small?
This is why we're co-hosts, man.
Drew lost to
I got you.
Andrade fairly quick with an injury. So Drew didn't have a long NXT title run, and then he was gone and done. So that's not even comparable. Because like he won it.
I will go see who Drew fought though.
Okay, let's finish the Raw rundown though.
But yeah,
Yeah, we're almost done.
While I look this up.
We got the Capital Riot Patriot and R-Truth defeating Elias and Cedric Alexander. But thank God 24/7 shenanigans, lure truth away. Shelton Benjamin also said, "Fuck this."
He still got the win,
this. And Elias bails on Cedric, and the Capitol Riot Patriot wins again.
Our truth wins.
Yeah, well,
R-Truth wins.
we're gonna give it to R-Truth, but thank God R-Truth.
It's in the
got
record
on that
book.
Shit.
He didn't have to do anything
Because both
Easy.
you and I agreed, like, R-Truth, you should not be here. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, do you not pay attention to what's going on?
Yeah.
Clearly, he don't.
And then in our main event, Xavier and Kofi defeat Bobby and MVP. What are we swallowing for Monday Night Raw?
Let me go.
I know you're swallowing Jinder. You're swallowing Jinder all day.
Yeah, the Maharaja, because listen,
I'm swallowing that sweet bike he rolled up in. And
first off, the bike, he's looking badass as fuck. And another thing, he's protected. Like, they're clearly protecting him, and I appreciate some effort putting to building him up before you do anything with him this go around, instead of just throwing him, throwing the title on him. Big fan of Jinder. I love this Eva Marie stuff. I don't like the dewdrop shit, so please change her name back at some point. But
question. Since we're
hold on,
let me.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Do you feel like Naomi was genuinely annoyed by the way she locked up with Eva? Because it's, to me, and a lot of people,
I wasn't even paying that close attention,
bro. It seemed like Naomi was like, I know this bitch didn't come back and still don't know how to lock up. It looked like, to me.
I'm gonna go watch it back. I wasn't paying that close attention.
And that forearm looked a little stiff right to the neck.
Probably was. But I like the character work though. For sure. What else am I? AJ and Matt Riddle was really good match. R-Truth getting the win, swallowing that. John Morrison and Ricochet. They're having another match this week, Falls Count Anywhere. So that's gonna be dope too. Can I talk about what I'm spitting?
Not yet. Vince, you got anything else you want to swallow?
I'm gonna swallow, like I said, the gender stuff for sure. I'm gonna not necessarily on Raw, but unless I misunderstood it, or like it was photoshopped, I think Sheamus is back next week, defending his title against Humberto Carrillo. And if that's the case, I want to swallow that, because that's the only thing I care about other than gender on Raw.
He better come back next week, otherwise he's got to drop that title, because 30-day no compete clause, motherfucker.
Don't you put that evil on me, Matt. Don't you put that evil
Has
on
that
me.
mattered? I don't think that
It hasn't.
It matters
it hasn't.
to me, goddammit.
It doesn't matter when it comes to the GOAT, Sheamus, the greatest wrestler of all time, the greatest United States champion, and America's sweetheart, man.
It'll matter again once the storyline calls for it.
Exactly. Thank you. Don't take his title. He ain't do nothing to you, Matt.
What else?
He has not defended that title since he's won it.
He don't need to. He don't need to. He has 0 worthy challengers. That's
I like how your swords are giving you bunny ears, man.
I love that every week. I'm glad I'm not the only one that notices that.
That's a smoking skull belt. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm swallowing Charlotte and Rhea just because I really
That
enjoyed.
too.
They were
I
both
forgot
out there
that.
on crutches, and then they kicked the crutches away from each other, and I got to put the cripple fight thing out there, and they were swinging at each other with the crutches.
So
I don't love what Rhea's been doing, but this I enjoyed the shit out of.
So Charlotte compared herself to. She didn't compare herself. She said she's more important than like Anthony Davis and a couple other big name NBA players who got hurt in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And she compared the situations and then said, I'm way more important than those guys, and see what happens here. So I love Charlotte. I think I officially became a fan of Charlotte during this segment.
Charlotte?
Because like that really just gave me something. And then she kind of like took a little dig at Chris Paul as well. Because, you look at who the Suns have faced, every team they faced in this run they've been on, every player who's been injured, every star player has been injured. So like, Charlotte Flair is comparing herself.
So
Anthony Davis.
I'm a fan. I was going to let it slide, but since Vince brought it up, do you call them the Charlotte Hornets too?
Yes.
Okay.
You're not the first one to point out how I pronounce Charlotte's name.
Okay,
that's how it's
the first time I've heard it.
That the ch makes a ch sound.
I'm not knocking for it. It's just the first time I'd heard it. And then
Charlotte.
Vince, I think because I called him out on debut, it had to put the heat on somebody else.
No, not that.
I'm pronouncing how it's spelled though.
I've never heard him pronounce it like that. It kind of just threw me off. So I'm like, is he doing this shit on purpose, or
No,
you
it's
just
Charlie.
like? Okay. Just needed to clear that up. Clarify that real
Cool
quick.
whip.
Cool whip.
You
been a
talked
while.
about the character work. I am going to swallow the fact that Alexa Bliss screamed at Eva Marie and then knocked her out of the ring with the force of her voice in that match. That was fantastic.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I get the whole like.
I love that team too. Like, if I was like, I'm not, but if I was a young little girl and I saw like that team of those four, each of them are just something different. But I would be drawn to that. I think it's like, and that's the demographic they're probably going for anyway. It's just like young little girls they can market to. That's why Nikki Cross is gonna have a lot of money coming in.
Thank you. Nikki Ash
Nikki
is
Cross.
getting over.
Nikki Ash.
Starting a week or so from now when they get back on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Yeah, because honestly, it just kind of like gives me Hurricane vibes, and I love the Hurricane.
If they don't make a superhero doll of her for little girls and boys, whoever wants to buy it and play with it, they're missing out, because that is going to fly off the shelves. Kids are going to love that.
You got to call her almost a superhero. You can't call her, you got to call her the ASH. You can't call her the SHIT, unfortunately, but it is what it is. RIP to Rosie, by the way.
RIP to Rosie. And I'm also swallowing everything New Day and her business. The story has been fantastic.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see Kofi versus Bobby Lashley for the title at Money in the Bank. It is probably one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most coming up.
I'm wearing a dashiki.
I won't be
for that match
enjoy
only.
the shit of it. So I'm swallowing that as well. Are we spitting anything from Monday Night Raw?
Yes. From one of the things I swallowed, actually, I'm spitting as well. That 8-woman tag. I don't think it was really a good idea for the women on the Raw side of Money in the Bank to be losing like this to this other team. Also, Mustafa Ali. I want to pronounce that correctly. Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor. It should just made Mansoor look stupid as fuck. Why would you do that in the middle of the match? Like, that's exactly what happened to Victor Ortiz versus Floyd Mayweather. He let his guard down. And it's just some shit that a professional athlete, a competitor in the middle of a match should be smarter to not do. So that bugged me a little bit. But yeah.
Well, do you feel like it plays in with the story of Ali telling him, don't trust anybody, don't be a nice guy, don't do this shit, you're not going to get anywhere?
It does, but this man had like 50 wins, undefeated. I think like he should know better, because
they're non-canon.
It will count. It should be, because I was watching 205 Live, and there was a match he had on 205 Live versus August Gray that kind of ended similarly. Not as devious, but it was kind of like he was going to let his guard down, and he didn't. So I already know he's smarter. So that's why it really bothered me that this did not carry over.
Any continuity that happens outside WWE main roster is died and forever erased, just like a fucking snap, man. It just like a Thanos snap, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, obviously, like if you look at SmackDown, we're gonna get to SmackDown, but like it doesn't matter what you do prior to getting to Raw or SmackDown. It's just gonna be erased and you're gonna be rewritten.
I am spitting Drew McIntyre's stupid.
That
my sword is made of the Loch Ness Monster's tooth promo.
Like, shut up,
bro.
Leave it alone.
Bro, what is it with Drew and these stupid ass promos every fucking week? Like, telling me a story.
I don't care about William Wallace. I don't care about the Loch Ness Monster. He's probably gonna come up here next week talking about Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. But I don't care, bro. Leave us alone.
I've got a follower on Twitter who apparently married into an Irish family, and she said that this is kind of like a Irish uncle trope with these fantastical stories of things they've done and blah, blah, blah. So I guess he's playing into his or Scottish, sorry. So I guess he's playing into like the heritage and the
I don't like
tropes of being Scottish, so on and so forth. It's not hitting for me. Like, I don't want to hear you saying dumb shit like my sword was made from the tooth of Nessie and you had to earn it. I'm like, motherfucker, Sheamus brought that shit over and gave it to you. Like, you didn't earn
Exactly. It was a gift from Sheamus.
Yeah.
Stop. It's less impressive now. It was impressive as fuck when it came from Sheamus.
He has to give that sword back every time he goes backstage.
Exactly.
It's Vince McMahon's sword.
And of course, I'm spitting everything.
Jinder stole the sword, though. I love that.
Except for the fact that AJ almost came out and fucked up Matt Riddle. That part I enjoyed, but everything else, Matt Riddle, spitting it, 100%. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I feel that. Did you hear that supposedly Randy asked for some time off for personal reasons?
I did not hear that. That's why he's off.
That's what I heard. I read
He
it
deserves
through
it.
Grapevine.
It's Randy Orton.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to work with Matt Riddle every week, I'd need time off too. Like, it is what it is.
Fair
That's
enough,
fucking
fair
annoying.
enough.
Overall, SmackDown spitting or swallowing, Raw spitting or swallowing.
Patooey, spit.
Raw's been a good show for the last month. Anybody denying it has glasses on, blinding it. Vince.
Did I see Sheamus on my television screen this week?
You said you thought it was Photoshop, but
no, it was
see an advertisement.
It wasn't.
So you did see him on the show.
No. I saw it on Instagram. I saw Humberto Carrillo tweet it, like share on his Instagram.
You saw Sheamus this week, though. That's all that matters.
Nah, not on Raw, not on my television.
I'm gonna swallow as well. I've enjoyed Raw the last few weeks, building into Money in the Bank, and again, a lot of that, kind of like on SmackDown, a lot of it's got to do with the Bloodline. A lot of it's got to do with the New Day versus the Hurt Business. Really,
ever since they announced they was going back on tour, they've been putting a little bit of effort into the show. That's all it took.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that Raw hasn't been getting better, but I'm still spitting it.
We going AEW or SmackDown next?
AEW.
Okay, TC. Okay. We kick it off. Homelander, Cody Rhodes defeats QT in a South Beach strap match. Then we got a Sean Spears promo about the chair shot.
Oh, no, you missed something. There was a moment during this match where it was like a slight power surge.
So, like, how we do it on here is I talk about what happened, and then when I swallow, I get into the fine details of why I'm swallowing.
Okay.
Exactly.
And that will be a very big swallow for me later on. So
we know.
Sean Spears promo talking about how he hit Sammy with a chair shot and then gets a chair shot from Sammy backstage. Kenny Omega has Don Callis brag about how no one is left for them to fight. The Dark Order comes out again, doing the only relevant thing they could, and pushes Kenny Omega for Hangman Page. Kenny punches Evil Uno in the face. Good Bros show up with Nakazawa. They jump the rest of the Dark Order, and then my boy Hangman's music hits. He makes the save, and we get that stare down between Kenny and Hangman before Kenny escapes, giving us the match we've all been finally waiting for, hopefully very soon, and the ascension of who was my favorite until this week, AEW superstar Hangman Page. JR interviews Darby and Ethan Page about their feud. The Inner Circle loses a 6-man tag team match to the Pinnacle, or a trios match, and then Konnan gets attacked after trying to jump Wardlow with a loaded sock that did not work. Second time I've seen a loaded sock on some shit I had to watch in wrestling this week. Arn Anderson wants, Carl Anderson wants Mox for the IWGP US title. Arn Anderson would be a better choice. MJF and Jericho mediation. We found out that somebody that we are all very familiar with on Twitter is apparently the man. You didn't see this?
Who am I familiar with?
I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. Have you seen the guy, motherfucking Mark, who does the Burial Ground podcast? He kind of
never heard of this guy before today. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Me too.
I was following him. I've seen him a lot. I know a lot of other people have interacted with him and seen him. He kind of went in on like wrestlers for a while, and then he kind of moved to like YouTube and Twitter personalities on his podcast, where he was just kind of running people down for their opinions and blah blah blah, this and that. And then he started challenging Anthony Ogogo to fights on Twitter, specifically for this Miami show, telling him show up, blah blah blah. So he is the one, apparently, at least taking credit for jumping the barricade, getting punched in the face by Jericho twice, and then dog walked out of the building as if he did some shit. Tagged Cornette in a post about it, and Cornette ran him down for the
Jericho
shit.
ran on him.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy when Jim Cornette is on the side of the Young Bucks. There's some shit.
Or to quote Kyle from the Smack Raw podcast, because I was listening to their show earlier today, when we're on the side of DJ Storms, who was also going in on this guy, like if we ever have to agree with DJ Storms, you did something wrong. I should never agree with anything that man says.
I wish he pulled that shit during the Pinnacles match, because I seen Cash Wheeler in action when a fan jumps in. So
yeah,
I already know what to expect. But yeah, this guy, he shouldn't be allowed to ever attend any wrestling show, no matter what it is. Like if it's some bullshit indies, fine. But
no,
WWE,
not even that. Not even that,
AEW,
man.
I mean, you can't control that. Like they're gonna take anybody who's willing to give them money. But as far as AEW, Impact, WWE, NWA, any like the main promotions, they should never allow this guy to attend any show ever, no matter what it is. Get him out of here.
Yeah, no. You don't disrespect the business. You don't disrespect the sanctity of that ring by jumping in and trying to attack wrestlers while they're doing their job, what they're out there to do, whether you like the product or not. If you don't like the product, don't fucking buy a ticket. Don't show up.
Especially his motive for doing it was like to impress Jim Cornette. Like
I don't know.
Jim Cornette has been attacked by fans his whole career as a manager. He don't fuck with that.
This man said if I was there, I was going to shove my or he said I was going to turn you into a tennis racket popsicle. Basically saying I would have shoved my tennis racket up your ass. But anyway, after this whole scuffle, we get the 5 stipulations. Jericho has to win 4 matches back to back to back to back against opponents of MJF's picking, with stipulations also picked by MJF. And if he wins those 4 matches, then he gets MJF. And if MJF beats Jericho, Jericho goes bye-bye.
Jericho's contract expires in 5 months. Do with that information what you will.
And everything's opening up, and I'm sure Fozzy is dying to go on tour.
Yep.
We get a break.
I mean, Jericho didn't care whether stuff was opening up anyways, but
that's true.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck.
That fan ran into the ring just like Jericho's wife stormed the Capitol building.
We got a Britt Baker promo. Matt Seidel loses to Andrade in his debut match on Dynamite. We get the debut of a man that the announced team was very confused as to what to call him, whether it was Tommy End or Malachi Black. He is Malachi Black. He shows up, kicks Arn Anderson in the face. Cody comes in, squares up, and also gets kicked in the face. My boy, Tommy End, a.k.a. Malachi Black, makes his debut, lays out Homelander in the middle of the ring.
I need Cody to get the fuck on somewhere and just leave all these people alone when they first come into the company.
Thank you. I'm glad you said it, because I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm excited, but why does his first program have to be with fucking Cody?
Yeah, I popped when I seen him because like I wasn't expecting it. I thought I was actually thinking he would show back up in WWE like next week or some shit. So I wasn't expecting him. I was excited, and then I saw Cody in the ring, and I'm just like, God damn it.
Well, we'll get into
my
that.
Excitement dipped a little bit.
We got the Team Taz stuff, which I'm going to spit, so I'll get into more detail there. The Blade and the Bunny lose to Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy in a mixed tag team match.
Get that shit out of here.
Dan Lambert, who is the leader of Top Team 1 or whatever the fuck it is, the MMA team that has Masvidal and Amanda Nunes a part of it, shits all over AEW. And then gets laid out by Lance Archer. And in our main event, the Young Bucks, after a lot of shenanigans and interference, end up defeating Eddie Kingston and Penta El Zero Miedo. I want to kick it off because you and I didn't really, but there was a big discussion in the group. I will say, I'm swallowing Malachi Black. I'm very happy to see him. I said from the get-go, if this man shows up in AEW, it moves the needle for me personally. I will be invested in AEW more because I'm a very big fan of him. I was not a fan of guys who did strike finishers. I was actually a big proponent against guys who use strikes as finishers. I wanted to see an actual move or a
Even
submission
Shawn Michaels with the
match.
switch.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't like Shawn Michaels?
There's always one exception, but like I didn't like Daniel Bryan's running knee. I thought, oh wow, you ran and kneed him. Like, see that a million times. Same thing with the V trigger, stuff like that. But when Aleister Black showed up with that Black Mass kick, that turned my opinion around as a whole on guys that use strike finishers. I've been a fan of him from the second I saw him in NXT through the terrible booking on the main roster. And now here, I will say it wasn't a perfect debut. They fucked his name up. They didn't know what to call him, but they
JR at his best.
Whatever happened to like this is why I can't fuck with Excalibur. Whatever happened to the certain moments like this in the commentary team just shuts the fuck up and lets the moment happen. And then you can elaborate and whatever later on after it's passed.
Bro, I feel like Excalibur always has to say something about
He has to say something.
Just like
shut up.
Just shut the fuck up.
That's Malachi Black. Like nobody knew that was his name. So we just like, how the fuck do you know that? For one, not everybody's following these wrestler social media accounts, especially the day of, to even have known that. I didn't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that it was foreshadowing and it wasn't an AEW production fuck up where they did the power out during Cody's match to kind of foreshadow the power.
I thought it was legit a power surge.
Exactly. Like I was like, oh shit. Like they said the weather's bad, blah, blah, blah.
That was all I needed to hear. Like,
yeah. Nothing. Then after I saw him show up, I'm like, God, I really hope like somebody didn't shut the lights off prematurely for the wrong segment. But if they did, it was beautiful because when it did happen, and it happened in Cody's match, and then it happened with Cody and Arn, it's like, okay, so that was kind of like a signal that was foreshadowing. That was really cool. So while the debut wasn't perfect,
when the lights went out, when the lights went out again, I was like, okay, now that wasn't an accident before. Like that's something intentional. So I was just anticipating when the lights came back on, and I wasn't thinking I would see who I saw. So I enjoyed that.
You know what? I can't even bullshit.
Let's get Cody out of here.
I can't bullshit with y'all. I didn't watch AEW live, so when I saw it was QT Marshall versus Cody Rose, I just skipped the whole match to the end. I didn't watch.
That match was okay, and I can't stand either of those two, but it was an all right match.
I couldn't in all good consciousness sit there and actually try to watch this match.
I didn't know which.
If I DVR'd it, I probably would have skipped it too.
I did. Yeah, I would have watched it live if I was watching it live, but I didn't.
I didn't know which guy I wanted to root to get his ass beat more, QT or Cody. I think I settled on Cody. Because I wasn't rooting for somebody to win. I just wanted one of them to get hurt more than the other. So
the finish was dumb as fuck, though.
Yeah,
it was stupid.
Stupid. Are we swallowing anything else from AEW this week?
Okay. Can I swallow just a little bit more of the detail of Malachi Black's debut? How his face was bruised up, and it was the continuity of when his eye was injured on Raw. And I liked how he wasn't Tommy End, he wasn't Aleister Black, he was Malachi Black. He was this new version of Tommy End / Aleister Black because of the damage and all the shit he went through in WWE that has just metamorphed him into this person that he is today in AEW.
My guy,
I love that.
New words today.
Just like Aleister Black creating new names, man. Malachi Black, I love it. I love that it's not Tommy End. I love that it's something different. It brings something from his WWE past. It's perfect. I have nothing but great things to say about Malachi Black being on AEW. And I will say this, AEW is slowly starting to get more people, more players in that roster that I care about. Andrade, Malachi Black, Christian Cage, they're turning me around into some good
Miro, the greatest TNT champion of all time.
I guess he's not Sheamus.
God's chosen champion. Well, Sheamus was never TNT champion, so
yeah.
Sheamus has never held a TNT championship.
Not once. I'm also going to swallow Dan Lambert because that whole promo that man cut.
All right. So I'm gonna go half and half on that Dan Lambert segment.
Okay.
Because one, I didn't know who the hell Dan Lambert was. So he managed Lashley in TNA apparently when he was doing his belt collector gimmick. So
better than Kenny's.
I really this dude came in cutting a better promo than probably anybody else on that roster can cut. Spoke a lot of facts, but here's the thing: the facts he was speaking, they were only meant to put him over as a heel so they can have somebody come in and give him his comeuppance immediately. So it's kind of like I'm gonna spit it because they're self-aware of themselves and they're self-aware of these criticisms. But like I was saying, they can't take criticism for shit. So they come out there and they do a segment like this just to pop the crowd because it really did nothing else. Like Lance Archer is not going to do anything going further to build on that. So it's kind of no point in the end. But I enjoyed it watching it live until Lance Archer popped up. We doing Swallows still. Andrade El Idolo.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite wrestlers. I big him up all the time on our show for the last few years. That's my guy.
I was not a fan of the finish that he used because he
didn't the elbow.
He didn't use that hammerlock DDT. He did that hammerlock like
the elbow.
Did he finish it with an elbow? I thought he did that hammerlock.
Yeah, he did the back elbow. He used to do
like
in
reverse STO.
I thought he did the elbow. I might have to go watch it again. I know he did the elbow, but it was
Man can't be out here doing the Judas effect on Chris Jericho's show.
He does
Andrade did it way better because you remember Jericho first did it. Like Jericho first did it, like Greatest Royal Rumble or some shit around that time, or somewhere around that era.
No. I think he debuted it for.
He did it in New Japan.
He debuted it in New Japan. Fuck off, Matt. Fuck off. I also want to swallow the confrontation between Hangman and Kenny Omega. I thought that was probably one of the better things.
I'm gonna spit that.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. I'll explain, but I'm spitting it.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm swallowing it as well. So tell them why you want to swallow it.
I just want to swallow it because I feel like this is the match everybody's been looking forward to. This is one of the most anticipated matches in AEW in recent memory, in the last few months, and it should be that all out. It should be the main event. It should be the crowning moment for Hangman. I've long been said that it should be Hangman to take that title off of Kenny Omega, and I think it's fucking perfect. And that's just neither here nor there, but I love the Triple H facial hair from Kenny Omega. I don't know why the fuck I like it. It makes him look like more of a douchebag, and I fucking love that. I want that from my heels. Be a fucking douchebag.
I will say that is the best look Kenny Omega has had. Is that 2003 Evolution Triple H wannabe Lemmy fucking facial hair?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I also want to swallow the main events. It wasn't perfect, but for what it was, what we got, I liked it. I like Penta, and I still like the Young Bucks. Not as much as I did before AEW, but I still like the match. I thought it was good. It felt like something I would see in freelance wrestling or AAW.
And I'm gonna swallow Chris Statlander. I don't know what it is about her since she's returned, but there's something about Chris Statlander since she has returned that just has my attention, and I don't know why, but it does.
I have a few ideas.
I don't know what it is, but she's doing it for me. TC, you wanted to spit that interaction between Hangman and Kenny Omega.
Yeah, the Bangkok thing didn't do it for me. Kenny's pants and shoe choices did not do it for me. So I'm gonna spit this segment itself.
Yeah.
Just
spitting the whole
of those things.
You're spitting a whole segment based on Kenny's fashion choices.
I feel like
because there's nothing they need to do to really get me to want to care about this match. I already care about the match. I already want to see the match. So the build, it don't matter because I know how the match is gonna end. So just get me to the match.
Okay.
So
I will say I'm gonna pop real big.
Aren't you the man that always preaches patience though, TC? Why can't you just be patient for that?
Let it play out.
I am patient. I'm waiting till the match happens. So
let it play out.
Don't kick and scream on the way there.
I'm not. Me being indifferent about the segment, just I don't care. I didn't have an opinion on the segment here or there because it's just they're gonna build to it. It's fine. I'm gonna sit through the build. I'm gonna watch it. I care about the match. When the match happens, that's when I'm really gonna get invested because I already know we build into it. I saw it coming. I just been waiting. I've been waiting patiently, waiting my time for it to happen. What I'm not patient for is Kenny's title reign, which I think needs to end tomorrow, but
All his title reigns.
or next week, whenever it is. But
I'm gonna spit the Team Taz stuff because
not
I don't know,
AEW.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Brian
get that shit outta
Cage
here.
was breaking away from Team Taz. Team Taz was supposed to have a one-on-one thing. Now you've got Ricky Starks out there with security on his own, away from Team Taz, as if he's the one breaking away. Like, they keep having Brian Cage tease like he's not happy with the way they do shit and he's gonna leave, and then he comes back in and he does Taz's been like, I'm so confused as to who's on whose side, what the fuck's going on in their little bullshit. And the thing is, I could really care less about it anyway. Like, yeah, Brian Cage being 5'8" and 400 pounds of muscle going in and beating up a bunch of security guards is fantastic. But
he's really 5'8" though. That's the funny thing.
yeah, I know. He's my size. It's cool. But him doing that shit, yeah, that's fantastic. But I don't care about his feud with Ricky Starks because I don't even know who I should care about or who's on whose side or what the fuck I should give a fuck about because it's so fucking convoluted and confusing at this point. Like, I don't know who's writing this shit or whose idea it was, but whoever it is, stop doing drugs. Get off the MDMA, whatever the fuck you're doing. Chill the fuck out.
It's funny because I think the person that writes this stuff has a coke addiction, as a lot of billionaires do. So
he looks like he has a coke addiction, but
yeah, he does. He has that twitch.
Are we spitting anything else from the show?
Yeah, I got some more spits. Chris Statlander, I've seen her like perform moves that could go wrong and paralyze somebody way too much to care about her. Like, I think she just needs to not be featured on TV as much until she shows some improvement because somebody could die. She's gonna make a female draws very soon, I feel like. And in the main event,
before you get to that, while we're still on Chris Statlander, the one argument that I have is that I have never heard anyone come forth and say that Chris Statlander is an unsafe worker. They feel unsafe working with her. So guys like Ryback and other people who are unsafe workers, people have come out and spoken out and said, you know, they don't want to work with them, blah, 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 blah.
Goldberg.
That has not been the case with Chris. So while the stuff she does may look dangerous, she's executing it safely. So I don't want to say until someone gets hurt, but until someone says that they don't feel comfortable working with her or they have an issue with her style of work or whatever, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she is executing these moves as safe as possible.
Yeah.
I gotta see it though.
Okay.
If I see it, I'll lean off of it. In my last spit was actually, I got two spits in the main event. The match itself, I liked it. I don't like the Young Bucks winning, so spit that. And then throwing thumbtacks isn't wise when you got people sitting in the front row. Because if I was there, guaranteed, I'll be suing the shit out this company. I'll be selling. I just watched some wrestling, right? I watched about 5-6 matches of wrestling, maybe some more matches or whatever else they recorded. So all in all, I watched a lot of wrestling this night, and I'm sitting in the front row. If I got hit with some thumbtacks, I would have sold it better than anybody that I saw wrestle tonight.
You would have LeBron James the shit out of that, hit the floor, yes, yelling, screaming, probably grabbed a couple thumbstacks, stuck them in you just for effect.
Yep.
That's what the LeBron slander.
What are you talking
Absolutely.
About? Does he not do that? Does he not?
He does.
Exaggerate.
I watch him do it 82 times a year. So
I don't watch basketball, and I know the guy does the shit. Like
he literally did it.
I was just not
Golden State
expecting
to get into the
LeBron
playoffs.
James reference on the podcast from Matt of all people.
That man oversells more than HBK versus Hulk Hogan, hands down.
Fair enough.
Chris Paul is the only one that's probably worse.
Yeah, I will say that.
Are we spitting or swallowing AEW overall? Unless you got more spits, Vince. You good?
No, not necessarily. There wasn't too much to spit. I'll just go ahead and all around just swallow the show. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I swallow. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything this week, to be fair.
Malachi Black debuts. Andrade debut match. You could have just given me that, nothing else, and I would have swallowed the show. everything else could have been trash. And we had some good matches and shit in there as well. So I'm with you guys. Let's roll into SmackDown.
Oh, I need Christian versus Andrade. I just thought of that. I need that.
Can we get Andrade versus Malachi Black again?
I would like that too. I would, with Andrade doing that black skull mask and the suit, I wouldn't even be mad seeing Andrade now or Malachi team up. I got to get used to calling him Malachi. Malachi and Andrade teaming up here or there as a tag team, that might be cool too.
You notice how
faction, because they got too many factions, but a tag team here and there, yeah.
Did you notice how AEW continued that tradition of Alistair / Malachi / Tommy and Andrade appearing in back-to-back segments?
Yeah. Yep. They're just missing Selena out there.
Yeah.
Well, she's back on SmackDown, which is why everyone thought that Malachi was gonna end up going back to WWE as per the rumors, but he did not. What we did get was Jimmy Uso wanting an audience with Roman Reigns. And let me tell you, when Paul Heyman said, do not worry, you are going to get his full undivided attention, I thought this was going to go way different than it did. So Roman Reigns comes down, basically says he's not afraid of Edge. He might have been afraid for like 10 seconds in a match, but that was it. And every man gets afraid. Ask Brock, ask anyone. It happens, but it was 10 seconds. That was it. He ain't scared. Then he brings
another Brock reference on these shows, by the way.
Then he brings out Jimmy Uso to address him, and he's basically like, who told you to go do that shit last week? I don't remember telling you to go do that shit. Why are you just doing shit that you're not told to go do? And he's like, well, where were you? You didn't have my back. You weren't here, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I was doing your job. Out comes Jey Uso. Roman then, under his terms, reunites the bloodline the way he wants them, with both brothers healing to Roman Reigns' will. Not sure how I feel about this, but we'll get into that. We got Sad Corbin, still needs a win, no music. Says he has to win Money in the Bank because he's missed payments on his house now, already lost his car. Shinsuke and Buggs show up in, I believe, Baron Corbin's repoed car. Shinsuke really likes the car. Then Shinsuke defeats Baron Corbin in the Money in the Bank qualifier with Big E hanging out ringside on the couch with Pat McAfee. Said, Michael Cole, you stay over there, but Pat, you can come join me on the couch. Let's hang out. That part.
Baron Corbin lost. I'm spitting. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
Okay.
No, this long-term story for Baron Corbin.
It is, but
it's gonna. You remember the?
I don't like to see
it. Did you remember like
let
how
it play out, TC?
Yeah, I'm letting it play out. I already
let it play out. Remember, MVP went through a downswing where he was losing constantly. He lost all his money. He lost his inflatable like entrance, his pyro, and everything. And then he slowly grinded and built his way back up to the MVP we know today. That's what's in store for Baron Corbin.
I know. I'm spitting. I hate to see.
Who's taking L's in the main event of Monday Night Raw? So it'll all work out. We got Edge questioning Roman's manhood. Says he's going to call him out later tonight. Natty and Tamina announced that they are fighting a tag team that has never before been seen on SmackDown, and it is Shotzi and Knox, who get the win over the tag team champions in their debut match on SmackDown. Then Sonya comes out to announce Carmella as Bianca's opponent for next week's SmackDown, canceling the Money in the Bank match because of Bayley's injury. Liv comes out bitching and complaining about how Carmella is just giving things, and Sonya's like, if you'd let me fucking finish, I was going to say that since Carmella's getting this match, you get her spot. Now get the fuck out of my ring before I change my mind.
Loved it.
As Liv leaves after running her mouth to Carmella saying, I hope you win so I can cash in on you and beat you, Bianca comes out, shows respect to Bayley, but also questions if the injury is real, and then tells Carmella, I'll see you next week. We got a Toni Storm vignette saying that she is coming soon. Seth Rollins defeats Cesaro with KO on commentary, filling the final spot in the men's Money in the Bank. The Usos break in Edge's locker room, but he's not there. We get an Alpha Academy promo with creepy fucking Otis. And then in our main event, no match, Edge comes out talking shit about how Roman's scared of him, putting up pictures of Jimmy and Roman in the crossface with the chair piece. Says, come on out here by yourself. Roman tells the boys, stay in the back. I got this. They don't fucking listen. These guys never fucking learn. No matter what Roman says, they just do the fucking opposite. So I think he needs to go on some reverse psychology shit and be like, I want you to come out and maybe they'll stay in the back. Because they don't listen to a goddamn word he says. He goes out there by himself. They come out. He's like, I told you I was going to handle this. Roman goes in. Him and Edge start brawling. Usos get on the rampway because the Mysterio's music hit. Ray and Dominic are back with chairs, lay out the Usos. We get a big brawl that ends in a very long segment of the Mysterios holding Jey Uso down while Edge breaks that piece of the chair off and then adds him to the collection of Samoans he has cross-faced with the chair piece. And Roman stands on the rampway and watches and does nothing to save his family.
And Diesel will be ashamed.
That's what they get for not staying in the back and listening to what the tribal chief said.
It's true.
So I'm going to kick this off. I'm going to swallow the debut of Shotzi Blackheart.
Just Shotzi. She's not Blackheart. She's
and Tegan Knox, despite
Knox,
the fact that they called her Shotzi. They did call Tegan repeatedly on commentary.
No. Michael Cole kept calling her Tegan Knox. Everyone
and the announcer, when she won, called her
Tegan Shotzi Knox. And Knox. They just said Shotzi and Knox.
After the match, they said Tegan. The announcer announced the match.
Shotzi.
Go rewatch.
Give her name back instead of just having all this bullshit.
But here's why. As scared as I am that they're going to do to Shotzi Blackheart what they did to Matt Riddle and amplify her to make her almost a parody of herself from what we got in NXT, I can't come on this show and complain that SmackDown doesn't have a women's roster. And then when they add women to the roster, complain that they added women to the roster.
Well, they added more women. They had a vignette for Toni Storm, which you forgot to mention.
No, I did not.
You mentioned it. I did this.
You should pay the fuck attention when I'm talking.
Did I?
Yeah, you the co-host, Vince.
Shut the fuck up, TC. Don't call me out on my own show.
Definitely talk. Don't call me out on my own show when you're wrong, motherfucker. See, that's why I'm the A team and you're the B team on the show, Vince.
That's okay. I fuck with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
You are my Vincent, the NWO B team leader down there.
That's just disrespectful. That was a call for it.
He'll be back. No, I'm
swallowing. You just called this man Virgil. That's disrespectful. I wouldn't come back from her.
He'll be back. 100% I'm swallowing that. Like I said, I can't bitch about them not having a roster and then calling people up to fill that roster out. So
yeah.
And I love to see Shotzi on the main roster. I think she'll do well as long as, especially on SmackDown. I think you're a little safer on SmackDown than you are on Raw for the dumb shit. So
but why did it take Bayley getting hurt for them to actually debut these women?
That I don't know.
Like, we've been calling for some more additions to this roster for a while now, and it took somebody getting hurt. It took probably the one person that was just probably an MVP of the division getting hurt to just be like, oh shit, we're gonna be in trouble.
Call.
I would have. Like, you just called me Virgil. I'm getting out of here.
Bro, he called me Vincent, not even Virgil. He called me Vincent. He used the English version of my Mexican name. The name that I would constantly get mispronounced with. I'm not with it.
He called you the parody version of the parody.
I mean, both.
Last time, man, I made your day.
Yeah, like Vincent was the parody of Virgil, which was also a parody of Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah,
you know what? That's all right. I was called the best co-host he's ever had behind closed doors, and that's all that.
Again, I can neither confirm nor deny saying that.
Wasn't
Al Gore's,
I have receipts
on Al Gore's interwebs.
I have receipts, sir.
We cannot.
TC,
cannot say
you,
that.
Bro.
I will say I do appreciate all of the hard work you have done and the awesome logos you have created. So yeah, You're not. You're the Scott Hall to my Kevin Nash. How's that sound?
I like that better.
What else are we?
It doesn't take away from what you called me though. I'm still gonna be resentful for that though.
What else are we swallowing on SmackDown tonight?
Everything, man. There was something I didn't like about SmackDown, but I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, Liv. Yeah, I didn't like
Corbin.
that segment.
I didn't mind Liv so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. When Carmella comes out, I kind of get distracted and lose focus as to what they're saying because I'm looking at Carmella. But because her fits are fantastic. Like we talked about how terrible Kenny Omega's clothes were. Whoever's styling Carmella is doing a great job and needs to continue what they are doing.
RN said it's those 2000 video vixen fits you got on.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm all for it because that's what I grew up with. So I
did not like that segment. It was just awkward the whole time. Sonya is nothing against her, but she seemed pretty uncomfortable with the live mic leading a promo by herself. Which has kind of always been
I will say that the line she delivered saying like "get out of my face before I change my mind" was delivered perfectly. I thought that
like she didn't stumble with that, but everything else she didn't seem comfortable. And that's just really on her to improve. So I'm not going to shit on her for that.
But I have an Austin theory. Shout out to my boys over there at the Get Show podcast. So when Liv returned to Monday Night Raw during the Lana Lashley Rusev segment, we found out that Liv was the secret lover of Lana. Now we also know that Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville proposed a lesbian storyline between the two to portray the LGBTQ relationship in a positive light on WWE TV. Mm-hmm. What if the route they are going is we find out that Liv and Sonya are dating, and that is why, to not show favoritism, she has been leaving Liv out of these things and not giving her these opportunities. And Liv is too immature in their relationship to realize that and respect her position of power. And it is also why she was so awkward going out there on the mic. Like, if I wanted to cut her a little slack for it in this promo, because she has been fantastic up until now with her pre-tape backstage segments and everything that she's been doing. So her being a little off tonight, maybe that was a little foreshadowing of her being uncomfortable in her position with Liv Morgan and their possible relationship.
I think she was just off, but that would be cool if they were to do that. But you got to remember they're on Fox. So,
yeah, that's true. I look at it this way. Vince loves to hear somebody pitch a storyline and then book it with who he wants in it instead of who pitched it to him. So you come up and be like, I think this is a great idea. And he's like, you're right, but not for you. We're going to do that with Big E. So I can see Mandy and Sonya going there.
That's what you're getting at.
Yeah, lesbian angle with Big E. Big meaty women slapping meat.
Yes.
No, but also with this segment, I don't care about Carmella and Bianca, but
no, like you could have given us. I would have been more excited for any one of the three women that debuted tonight to be facing Bianca at the pay-per-view title shot than Carmella.
And I think it was really just I was just really hoping it was Shayna. They just like, hey Shayna, we need you. And let me finish, man, because I already know. The best way to explain this is Bianca Belair needs an opponent. Bianca Belair is like, I need somebody to face because I'm not about to miss, a night of work, a paycheck. I'm the champion. I'm a fighting champion. So anybody, I don't care, you Raw, SmackDown, anywhere, show up. Like you could have did that earlier in the day. Challenge. Yeah, you could have been like Bianca Belair issues an open challenge
at Money in the Bank, so it's not
or later on Money in the Bank. You could have had
they should have like the alternate would have been like Bianca Belair will have an open challenge at Money in the Bank.
Something that makes sense.
And then at Money in the Bank, because it's a neutral pay-per-view for both parties, at that point I think Matt would be
Shayna would have been there.
I was gonna say
her showing up, it would have been stupid, but if you were to announce it earlier in the day, like Bianca Belair issues an open challenge earlier today.
No, I in that scenario, I would want Bianca to get on the mic before her match and call someone out, and someone show up, and that's where Shayna comes out.
So
that's another way they could have did it.
Vince understands my loopholes because apparently, even though he ignored the Tony Storm comment, he does listen. I don't want to see Raw superstars on SmackDown. It's not that I don't want to see Raw superstars fighting SmackDown superstars. I just don't want to see it on SmackDown or on Raw. But if they're at a pay-per-view where it is a neutral field and they go at it, that I can accept and be okay with, as long as after the match is done, Shayna doesn't show up on SmackDown the next week, mad that she lost. You go back to Raw and you be done. And if she wins the title, she becomes a SmackDown member. She is no longer on the Raw roster, and then it is okay. But on neutral playing ground, very good, Vince. If they come out and said, Bianca, we're canceling your match,
co-host ever,
done, and Bianca's like, no, that's not cool. We got to find somebody. Who can we do? And they're like, listen, everyone's in Money in the Bank.
Hit them with that girl.
Yeah. And she says, we're going to figure something out. Money in the Bank, open challenge. Someone from Raw comes out at Money in the Bank. Perfectly fine with that. That's cool. So just don't show up on fucking SmackDown when you don't belong there.
Yeah. On a side note, TC, check your DMs on Young Kings Wrestling. I got some receipts for you. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Finish.
I mean, you literally just sent him the conversation we had here, where you said what I said, and I said that cannot be
receipts. I just had receipts
stated on Al Gore's internet.
I may or may not have shown him receipts. I may have shown him a little receipt of my order from my lunch today. You don't know what I sent him. Don't assume things.
It don't matter. Travis ain't gonna listen this deep into the podcast anyway. So
he's not.
I mean, that's between y'all. Like, if
yeah,
it's
why
not
you
on record, you know, if it's not on record,
it's on record. It's on record. I had witnesses.
TC, are you?
I don't know that
Corbin
it's on
losing?
record, so it's all good. What's up?
You spitting Corbin losing too?
Yeah, just because he lost. Like I know to follow the storyline, but I don't like to see it.
I was gonna say this man made me
down bad. I hate it
for over a year. Don't worry about the Fiend. Just let it play out. Just let it play out. And then at the end of the story, he said, no, just let it play. I'm like, it played the fuck out. It's been playing out for a year. They set him on fire. They beat him at WrestleMania. Now he's off.
Letting it play out. I've said that.
But Baron Corbin has been down and out for 2 weeks, and he's like, nope, spitting that shit.
No, he's been down and out for a minute. He lost the crown a while ago. Like he was losing matches before then. Before the crown was even, a thing. Like this guy stole his crown. This dude he's just jealous.
5-finger discount.
He stole his crown. He took it and he kept stealing it. And then his little, bandwagon guitar player helping him steal it. He's helping him steal his car. Like it's just it's unfair treatment.
Technically, he
Corbin,
did
so I hate it. I don't like it.
I do want to spit, or we're spitting from.
Yeah, we're spitting.
Okay, I do want to spit the fact that we got so many reruns of matches again, for qualifiers for Money in the Bank. Why are we seeing Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke again?
Or Seth versus Cesaro.
Or Seth versus Cesaro. And I want to spit the fact that Cesaro lost. Like, I want Cesaro in that Money in the Bank. Like, nothing against Seth Rollins. Obviously, he's more than qualified.
I got something for my co-host this week. I tried it with Cesaro, but it's clearly over with.
But I don't know. I wanted that moment for Cesaro because obviously Edge versus Seth is where we're gonna lean towards for SummerSlam. So why not have Cesaro in that match?
I don't like that Drew or Seth are in this match at all. I don't want to see
former
champions in the Money in the Bank.
Or if it's a former champion, at least let it be like he hasn't had a reign anytime soon.
Well, that's Seth.
I feel like he's always been the main event for a minute.
He has not been in the main event for a minute.
It's been a couple years.
I guess like the exception would be like, let's say like a Rey Mysterio who hasn't been champion in years. Like I feel like that I'm okay with.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like those are the terms of like, yeah, you're a former champion, but not in this recent
era of
wrestling.
As we were building it, we had guys like Big E, we had guys like Ricochet, we had all these dudes that hadn't John Morrison, who had never been
John Morrison
WWE champion. And I'm like, yeah.
It's drip.
I mean, I hate
it.
Point is, I was excited. I'm like, this is going to be a really cool
splash hole.
whoever wins is going to be a new Money in the Bank competitor, never been champion. And then we add guys in like Drew and Seth, and now it's not so certain, especially with Drew, because they are sucking the Drew dick hard over there on Monday Night Raw.
They're
Luckily,
fucking him up.
they did say even if he wins Money in the Bank, he cannot cash in on Bobby Lashley. I swear to God, if Kofi beats Lashley and Drew beats Kofi in Brock Lesnar time, and they do that man like that again,
man,
we're gonna have some issues with Monday Night Raw.
I think it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen with Drew.
Yeah,
I don't want anyone on the Raw side to pick up that briefcase. I think it should go
Big E. I'm 100% in on Big E.
Yeah, that's my pick.
I'm down with Big E being Money in the Bank.
So we're swallowing SmackDown overall.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure. There was a lot of good stuff.
What was best show of the week?
Edge is restoring that feeling I had. Edge was my favorite wrestler when I was in high school. Like he was on SmackDown, feuding with Taker,
Edge growing up,
Batista.
Man.
That was my god. So I was a
man.
huge Edge fan, and he's back, and I'm getting that feeling again. Like it just feels natural seeing Edge close out an episode of SmackDown. I'm glad it's a thing now.
I want to say that he's arguably like, how people talk about like the SmackDown 6. Like if you make an all-time SmackDown 6, he's in there for sure.
He was in the original, so he already there. He locked in.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're swallowing SmackDown overall. What was your guys' favorite show of the week?
SmackDown. It's always SmackDown.
SmackDown. I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch it live like I normally do. I'm gonna go ahead and give the nod to NXT this week, slightly.
Well, I'm glad that it's a split decision, because every time there's a split decision, it comes down to me, and I am putting the debut of Malachi Black above everything that happened in wrestling this week.
I already knew this was fucking happening.
As per the Smackin' Raw podcast, AEW was the best show of the week because they put my boy back on TV. And let's talk about the fact that they fucked up.
I mean,
it did not update.
It was 3 separate votes. Like, how is just this one show to like the?
Because I'm the deciding vote, so my
vote
vote.
Was the only one that voted.
Yeah, so my vote always wins. That's how it works.
It's your show. It's all good.
See,
it's your show.
He understands.
I won't argue with you on your show, but
I appreciate that. I try not to argue with you on your show. I don't say shit about Jeff Hardy over there. I just
you can't talk about Riddle either.
I don't know if I can come back on your show. They put Malachi Black on TV, and WWE somehow fucked up with his contract and never updated it to a 90-day no-compete clause.
I don't believe that shit.
He was able to show up. I think it had something to do with Zelina coming back, where they worked something out, but that's the story that's going on. Is they kept the 30-day no-compete clause from NXT and never updated it, which is why he was able to show up when he did.
I don't think that. I think that's cap.
The only thing from the contract that didn't get updated. Like, you mean to tell me they still gave this man his raise and everything, but they just forgot to update that one part of the contract? I don't believe that shit. That's bullshit.
Before we move on and close off the show, I do want to say I want to spit from SmackDown the fact that they just kind of like completely took away Tegan Knox's debut on NXT, just made it null and void. Like Toni Storm, like supposedly wanted a title shot, and now that's up in fucking flames. And they broke up the fucking Fire Pit, the best women's tag team in all of wrestling. There's a lot of shit that SmackDown did that fucked over NXT.
I will agree with the Fire Pit point.
But like Matt said earlier, we can't complain that they don't have no women and then complain when they.
I wasn't complaining that they didn't have any women. I'm just saying, I'm just complaining at why not bring Ember and Shotzi together? Why not bring an actual fucking
Ember doesn't want to be on the main roster.
I was going to say, Ember went down to NXT for a reason. So actually, JJ hit me up on Twitter when they announced that it was going to be a new team, and she's like, do you think Shotzi and Ember are coming up? And I actually missed the announcement that it was going to be a new team. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I don't think so, because Ember went to NXT for a reason. So I didn't see her coming back up, especially.
I just heard rumors. I just heard Wrestle Votes on Twitter, just like phone up, blue and white, meaning like a call up on SmackDown. I'm like, oh, who's getting called up? And then I saw I was thinking it was going to be Toni Storm. I thought they were going to do like the Rhea Ripley situation where she gets called up and just throws it into the title match. Just like they did with Rhea, and I figured they were gonna do that with like, I don't know, like either a Shotzi or an Ember or a Toni Storm or an Io. Like, well, not Io. Sorry, because she just won the title. But I thought they were gonna do something like that. I don't like that Tegan and Shotzi were somehow thrusted into like a forced tag team. They basically just took out Ember Moon from that tag team and substituted her with Tegan Knox. And throughout the entire fucking match, everyone's calling her Knox, but Michael Cole's the only one that's calling her Tegan. They stopped calling her Shotzi Black. Now Toni Storm's on SmackDown.
Blackheart.
Yeah, Blackheart. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm ranting. Okay, I'm sorry. I just, it was very frustrating because I was watching. I couldn't even enjoy the fucking debut because I'm like, why the fuck did they just change their names? They broke up the Fire Pit. Tegan just debuted on fucking Great American Bash, and now she's on SmackDown. The fuck was the point? If they've been building up that whole like charger battery.
Yeah, they wasting my time with that shit.
I agree with you on some of your points. One, Fire Pit is the greatest women's tag team currently in the WWE.
Was because it's no longer.
There's no women's tag team in WWE currently active that is better than the Fire Pit. I don't know what that face is for. Facts are facts.
Don't
wait.
No, not better.
Zoe Io better.
No, definitely not. But they're not even a real tag team.
Thank you. They're not even a real tag
team.
Then
why did the tag team champions then?
Because it's a WWE trope to take two people who aren't a tag team that are top tier talent, put them together.
AEW did that shit with their tag team champions, Kenny Omega and Adam Page. They weren't a tag team.
At least they were part of the elite.
They were not a fucking tag team though.
These are just two random women who respect each other. But
that would have been like Jericho and Sammy winning the tag titles when Santana and Ortiz are right there.
But again, at least they're still part of the same group. These two.
That's bullshit. When the tag team of the faction doesn't get the tag titles.
I agree with you. The other point I'm going to agree with you on is that I did not appreciate the way they did Tegan Knox like that. But Toni Storm said coming soon, which means we may get to see Toni Storm's story play out to somewhat of a conclusion down in NXT.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean she's coming up now. I mean, we saw Eva Marie coming soon for like 3 months before she actually showed up. So we could still get that title shot.
It's more like
we're still going to see Toni take an L on her way out and put somebody over. So that part I'm going to tell you to calm down on. Like that part, don't be upset about because Toni still got some shit to do down in NXT. Until we hear otherwise.
I'm not so upset about it. It was more or less like Fire Pit being broken up, Shotzi not being called Shotzi Blackheart, just Shotzi. They just called them Shotzi and Knox. I'm like, the fuck?
You got to come out on the tank and shoot the dildo launcher at the fucking tag team champion, so I was cool with that.
That was the one cool and good thing.
And they kept Shotzi's music. So TC, tell everyone where they can find you. We got, by the time this drops, I think Young Kings Wrestling will be dropping the next day, so they can go check you out the very next day, hear you and Reek and maybe Malik if he shows up.
Maybe, we don't know.
Mr. 24/7.
You guys are really close to your 100th episode too, so we're looking forward to that. So go ahead and run that shit down.
Young Kings Wrestling podcast, or just Young Kings Wrestling, because we do more than just podcasts. We do a whole bunch of other stuff. Follow us on Twitter at YK Wrestling. I deleted my personal Facebook, so it shut down the YK Wrestling Facebook. So I'm gonna get that handle eventually.
Oh my god!
But when it gets back up, I didn't know it did all that, so I have to figure it out. So I do. Yeah, we've had no Facebook presence for about like 2 months now. It's crazy. But we're on Instagram as well at YK Wrestling _ because they want to delete our profile and shit. So I had to make a new one. The show itself, YKWrestling.com. Links to all the platforms are there. We're everywhere. Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere. So YouTube as well. Follow us on YouTube, Young Kings Wrestling.
Facts.
Vince,
I want some more YouTube content. So
yeah.
We have Vince.
Speaking of more content, you can go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms at SCS Vince. If you want to see me talk about something other than wrestling, Reek from Young Kings Wrestling and the host of the Havoc Hour, he joined me on episode 6 of the Straight Talk podcast. We finally came back since our sabbatical in February. We talked the NBA Finals, we talked the NBA playoffs, we fired up the trade machine for Mr. Ben Simmons, and we also talked about what's next for some NBA franchises like Reek's Brooklyn Nets and TC's LA Lakers. So
You
go
talk
ahead and
about
check
TC's
that.
LA Lakers and didn't invite TC on to talk about the LA Lakers.
Well, I have something in store for TC for a specific podcast. I'm saving him for a specific podcast, and me and him will talk. His people will talk to my people. We'll meet up. We'll set things up. But go ahead and check that out using the link tree /SES Vince. Will give you all the links to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, everywhere. YouTube. I don't really upload the podcast on YouTube, but I do have some stuff on there. If you want to see me and Matt talk, like, go ahead and check out our Pro Wrestlers as Pokemon Gym Leaders podcast. It's still one of my favorite podcasts to this day. Fantastic. It's a timely podcast. You can watch it at any time, any year, no matter what. There's no timestamp on that, but yeah, link tree /SES Vince gets you the link to my social medias as well. So go ahead and check that out. Of course, check out the show on Instagram and Twitter at Smackin and Raw Pod. You can go ahead and check out all the latest episodes, and go ahead and follow Mr. Matt Ritter on Twitter at MATTRIDD. No.
Let him plug himself. Man.
It's not that. It's just so real quick story. We tried to get you guys episode 20, the lost episode of Smackin' It Raw. I've got the audio file. I had Reek and Katie come on, listen to it with me, and we were going to critique it and make fun of me. And
everybody includes Reek and stuff and not me, and I'm starting to get offended.
So there's a specific reason why I had them on. We'll talk about that. So we had Reek and Katie on to make fun of me for one of my very early episodes that I did with my old co-host Eric Seeker. And one of the things that they talked about specifically was how slow at episode 20 I plugged my shit and enunciated everything because I was trying to be professional. But if you're going to do the Matt Ritter now, you have to do it the way I do it, or you don't do it at all.
MATTRIDDER.
If you want to follow me, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ritter. That's at MATTRIDDER. Also, please go check out Facebook at facebook.com/creationworld, creationworld.com, on Twitter and Instagram, The Creation World. That's THECREATIA World. That is the banner under which the Smackin' It Raw podcast exists, and we'll get you everything from Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow, Dungeons After Dark if it ever happens, Creation Conversation, all of that great shit, and Facebook.com/group/Smackin' It Raw, and Facebook.com/group/Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow for all the CW Universe stuff. I just started catching up on Black Lightning final season on Netflix. It is fucking dope.
Black Lightning fire.
I got some issues with this final season because they recast somebody. They recast Jennifer. I don't know why the fuck they did that, but this final season is fucking awesome.
The Jennifer is an original actor. She quit acting.
Yeah.
For personal reasons. So.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you just finished out the season though, because like you were 4 episodes in. Just maybe it was weird for the last season.
Reasons, just like
all of a sudden there's this whole new girl there.
At least they came up with a way to explain it in the story, though.
And she does some of Jennifer's mannerisms really well. So like I get it and it works, but it was just weird. Like 3 episodes in, all of a sudden, whole new Jennifer for however 10 more episodes, and then we're just done.
I won't spoil the rest of it for you, but yeah.
I'll probably finish that up tonight. So
okay, you'll see like the way they did all that shit in the last episode. But
yeah.
Can I plug one more thing? I'm the thespian TC Fontaine. So if there just so happens to be any body in the field of acting, whether you're agent or casting director or something, I'm out here at tc.fontaine on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. He's got a soundboard too.
I got a soundboard.
There you go.
For our guest, the thespian TC Fontaine, my co-host, the Pornhub Poppy Daddy Delgado himself, Vince. I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
There you go.